crops have really moved on, so we're now at the point where winter barley's gates are really shut. The crop that we're in is fairly typical, so nice and thick and awns beginning to peep. And really, we don't see much benefit from any additional T3s, and particularly in a dry season like this where disease levels are fairly low. Winter wheats, flag leaves out and those sprays on, so we're really thinking about the T3, the ear spray now. And again, in a period of dry weather like this, there's a little bit of flexibility in how you would time that. So in a wet season, it's really crucial you're on early flowering with those protectant fungicides. A little scope to delay, but not too far. And generally, although it's tempting to try and extend the benefit from a flag leaf spray, you're better to stick to the key timings. Spring barley is really where all the activity's at now, so crops have gone in and emerged well. They could all do with a little bit of moisture now. And there's a few of the later drilled ones in cold soils, tricky seed beds that have been slow to emerge. So in terms of disease on spring barley, if the weather stays dry and you're on a fairly resistant variety, the early tillering could be very low indeed. And in fact, sometimes you can do without. Obviously, that's a crop by crop basis. And then it's the T2s on the spring barleys that are so important in terms of yield and quality. And it's ramularia that we really worry about at that timing. And again, that's a disease that really likes leaf wetness from crop emergence right through to full ear emergence. And because it's been dry, we could anticipate the risk is a little bit lower at the moment. So keep an eye on the season, but you could maybe moderate your inputs for spring barley if the risk stays low. And then potatoes have been going in well in good conditions. And blight is really the key bit to start thinking about. So we did have issues with some of the blight fungicides and resistance last year. So really the key message, try and avoid blight at the source, so really manage those dumps. And then we're on the last season of use for a product like Mancozeb, that multi-site. And it makes sense to maximise your use of that early in the season. It's a protectant, it won't move into that fast new growth. So while growth is slow, maybe maximise that. And then just with your blight fungicides, be really careful to alternate, to mix if you're using one of those fungicides that's been identified as at risk from resistance. So that's the fluazinam, the CAAs, and of course metalaxyl. So if you're using one of those, do mix them. Really do try and stick to those key intervals. If you extend spray intervals, the mixing partner tends not to move at the same speed as the at-risk partner. So it is crucial, even although it's dry, that you try and stick to intervals as planned.